We're back with another episode of the Blitz and Cocktails. Your host, Greg Brown, and today we're going to be talking to one of my guests. From back in high school, one of the guys that was very influential in football back in high school. Yeah, we're sitting here with my guest, Ced Davenport. Ced Davenport was one of the most illustrious, football players to come out of Sterling back in the 86-87 campaign. So I want everybody to help me welcome my guy, Ced Davenport. What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Man,
it's an honor to be here, man.
I'm glad to have you, man. I'm trying to get everybody that got stories, in the Houston area to come on the show and politic and tell us about what sports meant to you growing up.
Man.
What sports, did for you growing up. Mm-hmm. And how can it affect, the community now with your story that you need to tell, about sports. Gotcha. So first of all, I want to talk about your early days playing at Sterling. I mean, you was one of the guys that came to Sterling and started as a sophomore at Sterling High School. How did you do that? How did that happen?
But for that to happen, I got to go back a little bit further than that.
Okay, go ahead.
Park Place. I was an All-American in the youth league.
Okay.
When I get to middle school, junior high school back then, I didn't even play for Hartman.
No, you didn't. I remember that. You played basketball.
I played basketball.
Right, I remember that.
They scrubbed me out on the uniforms and stuff.
Really?
I didn't even get the opportunity to play. It's 8th grade. I ain't play. I just played basketball.
Wait a minute. What you mean they scrubbed you out? Because I played linebacker at Hartman.
I did not touch the field.
You didn't touch the field at all.
I didn't touch the field. 'Cause back then I was an offensive player. And
you played receiver then.
They had Plattenberg and Janice and Jason.
And Stanley White and all them. Okay.
The fastest boy in Houston. So I was looked over.
Right. Okay. I remember that. Okay.
And I played basketball. So when I got to Sterling, I still was a receiver in 9th grade. We were in the city championship, I think, 9th grade. Mm-hmm. Going into the 10th grade, I'm going as receiver. Roll number 84 because Billy White Shoes Johnson.
You was a big Oiler fan.
I was a big Oiler fan. Okay. Billy White Shoes Johnson was my guy, so I wore 84. I'm playing receiver, but you still got these same guys that I was playing behind that I got looked over at Hartman. They at Sterling now too.
So all those guys went to Sterling.
All those guys went to Sterling.
Okay.
They was all Mr. Everything on offense.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we had one of the safeties got injured, Carlos Scott.
Okay.
Another guy went to Oakland. I'll tell you about Carlos a little later too. Okay. So Carlos ended up getting injured. The defensive coordinator, which was Coach Belford at the time, took me off the offense and brought me on defense and made me the safety to replace Carlos Scott. So
as a sophomore.
Okay. So that was how I was able to become the Oklahoma 5-star blue chip recruit back then. It was a tough journey, for me to get there from the beginning, because like I said, I was used to being the guy, and then when I get there, I ain't the guy, and I had to go find another position to be the guy at. They got their guys over there at that.
So at Sterling, you were converted from a receiver to a free safety.
As
a sophomore.
As a sophomore.
Okay. So your first game starting as a sophomore at Sterling, do you remember who it was against? You remember your first start?
I think we played, I want to say Sharpstown. I want to say Sharpstown or Westbury, one of those two games, one of those two teams. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you was playing with Jason Phillips at the time, wasn't he? Was he the quarterback?
Jason Phillips was the quarterback.
That was Jason Phillips, and that was
Jason Phillips had
Buddy went to Baylor as a running back.
Murray.
Anthony Benjamin.
No, Jeffrey Murray.
Jeffrey Murray.
Yeah,
Okay.
Murray went to Baylor. Yeah.
So all of y'all were on that Sterling team when you were a sophomore.
Right.
What did y'all do that year?
I think we ended up going to we lost to Beaumont French, the eventual state champion that year, I think.
Really?
Yeah, we lost to Beaumont French in like the second round of the playoffs, and then
Were you one of the only sophomores to start on that team?
I believe, as far as I can remember, I think so. I don't remember. Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah.
And the reason I'm saying is my Facebook, my podcast friends, is because this guy, just came out of nowhere. Because when I went to Hartman with all you guys,
right.
Then I left because I got tired of going to school with everybody from South Park. So I was like, let me go to school with people that's in Third Ward, South Park from that area. They go to Yates. Mm-hmm. So as I'm going to Yates, they're talking about, okay, well, we got Sterling, Jones, people that I went to school with back at Hartman. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, Davenport, Like Davenport played receiver.
Right.
So all of a sudden, what has happened now to where he's playing free safety? So we're going on through the season and we're going on through the playoffs, and now you're like one of the top free safeties in the district, just for camp safe. Because you don't you unless you played the position, you really don't understand how important that is to understand what DB's concept looking like on the field as far as receiver.
Exactly.
What do you think of that?
I love that idea because it would give a receiver, if a receiver is playing DB, it would put him in the mindset of a DB. So when he go up against a DB, he kind of can pretty much know what that guy thinking because he already, he been put in that position, like you said. So I think that's a great idea. That's why I'm not against players playing both ways. I'm not against that.
I'm not against it either.
I'm not. All.
I really don't think, especially here in HISD, I really don't think they have the talent pool for that.
Right.
But if I was coaching high school, I know for at least the spring practice going into summer practice, we would implement that if I was a coach at one of these high schools. But
I'll be there with you.
Nevertheless, okay, so we go past, their sophomore year. Now we're going into the 11th, 12th grade year, and you're becoming one of the top DBs in the, in the city. How was the adjustment for you, as far as going from sophomore to junior to senior, becoming one of the top DBs in the country?
Well, my junior year, that was an interesting year because I coming from being 10th grade, being a starter, going 11th grade being a starter, getting the notoriety that I got.
Yeah.
Kind of got sidetracked a little bit.
That's right. I remember.
Kind of got sidetracked.
I remember now. Okay, I remember that. I remember that.
And then also the same guy, Coach Belford, who brought me from offense to defense, he kind of was, enlightening me on the future. So he got me to take in a little more advanced classes than I was used to taking.
Of course.
And so I ended up being one of the first victims of no pass, no play. House Bill 72.
I remember that.
And it was actually against the Yates game. I wasn't able to play.
No, you weren't.
My 11th grade year. But before that, leading us, I had so much confidence coming from being a sophomore, being a starting on varsity. Mm-hmm. My 11th grade year, I had in 6 games, I had 11 interceptions. Really? I was leading the state in interceptions in the first 6 weeks.
As a junior.
And
before you got House Bill, it was called House Bill back then.
Yeah, House Bill 72. Mm-hmm. No pass, no play.
Right.
So, like I say, I had a lot of confidence and just knowledge, more knowledge and speed of the voice of the game.
Right.
So it was good. In that aspect. But like I say, I ended up failing chemistry by 2 points, and actually I wasn't failing because I ended up I missed the assignment, so I had to turn the assignment. Once I turned the assignment in, it brought my grade back up to where it's supposed, where it's, passing in. But by that time, it was too late. The team I already left to go to the stadium. And I'm in my street clothes. So, but and going into my senior year, that having that happen to me in my junior year, not being able to finish the season, that gave me more power. I'm gonna say. To go in my 12th grade year and just prove that there wasn't no fluke. I wasn't no fluke. So
I just heard a story about you Saturday. I was at one of my partners, Glenn Matthews.
Uh-huh.
I was at Glenn House Saturday, and we got to talking about 25A football positions. People that was influential, people that stood out that year, and Glenn had left from Jones. And ended up at Yates.
Yeah.
But he said he came to Sterling first.
He did.
He said he came to Sterling first. And he said he came over to Sterling to basically play free safety. And Coach Hendricks at the time told him, you can probably play anywhere else, but you can't play free safety because we already got that locked up.
Yeah.
Really?
Free safety was locked up.
It was already locked up.
It was locked up.
So he wound up coming to Yates and wound up, having a great career at Yates.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your senior year, because this is the year now that, you got the notoriety. You're the guy in 25A, but you also, the guy in Houston as far as free safeties go.
Yeah. So my senior year, that year for me I was expecting a whole lot. And I said, now I'm getting letters and from different schools.
Right.
So it's building my power up, as I call it. So I just wanted to go out and just have a good year with no injuries because I knew I was going to college somewhere. I knew I was going somewhere, but I just wanted to play injury free. I ended up doing that. It was my senior year. That was one of to this day, one of the best times in my life I've had, you know, as far as having the attention that I don't require a lot of attention, but just having that attention, it made, you know, it gives it give you like I said, it gave me that power. So that year, it had me going. It's a lot of stuff that happened. I don't remember, but you know it happened.
Right.
But a lot of things I do remember that was, you know, that propelled me to, you know, to go ahead and, you know, just jump out there. You know, that's why I feel like I'm jumping out there. No, you know, I feel like, you know, I hadn't had anybody in my family went through this situation.
Right.
We don't know what's going on. You know, I just kind of was, you know.
You were just navigating the seas as you could.
Right.
You know, trying to charter the waters, trying to basically figure it out. But you didn't have any no guidance or anything like that.
Right,
so
right.
Coach Hendricks wasn't, you know, he wasn't talking to you guys about the next level.
Man, R.I.P. Coach, but back then, in my opinion, and I'm not gonna say just me, you know, me personally, but coaches didn't have boys back then.
They didn't.
And you know, I was fortunate enough to have Coach Belford to, you know, to pull me to the side, because maybe I feel like he saw something, you know, extra in me that, you know, I wasn't running around, you know, skipping class and smoking weed and drinking behind the building and all that stuff like a lot of cats was doing. So I feel he saw that in me. You know, that's why he put me in those classes. So that senior year, Coach Belford kind of, you know, he kind of kept pulling my coattail, you know, hey, do this, do that. This is what you need to do for us. Get my SAT scores and, you know, taking test. I took the test, you know, pre-test a few times, you know, and just give me the knowledge, because he knew I was headed somewhere.
Yeah, so. I agree with you about that, because like I said, you know, black coaches back then, they weren't the ones who pushed us to the next level. I mean, you know, I hate to say it, but, you know, going to Yates, you know, Booker and them didn't do that.
Yeah.
The person that did that for me, that really got me to the next level, was Santana's daddy, Alphonse Dotson.
Yes.
You know, he's the one who introduced me to the coach at Nebraska, which was Gene Huey at the time. And Gene wound up going to Wyoming, and then he wound up coming back to Yates and remembering me to give me a Division I scholarship to go to Wyoming.
That's what's up.
So what happened was, you, along with, you know, some other notable players out of Houston, wound up going Division I, because that particular year it wasn't that many of us.
Right.
It was you out of Sterling. Who else was out of Sterling with you that went Division I?
That year?
That year.
Kevin Walker. Kevin Walker went to Texas Tech.
He went to Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Okay, so you two out of Sterling. Canavis McGee out of Wheatley. Alfred Williams out of Jones. And then out of Yates, it was me, Richard Sauls, John Williams, Alonzo Pierce, and Santana Dotson.
Yeah.
So that's probably like about 7 or 8 of us.
Right.
Okay. How many trips did you take?
I took all 5.
You took 5.
I took 5 official. I took about 3 or 4 unofficial. I took unofficial to.
Okay.
I took unofficial to A&M. I took unofficial to U of H, and I took unofficial to UT.
Okay. For my viewers that don't understand what unofficial is, can you elaborate?
So unofficial visit is, you have to get yourself there. They're gonna take care of you when you get there, but it ain't on them to get you. You know, so I took my unofficials in, you know, Texas A&M. We drove to College Station, but when I get there, you know, I still had the same layout as the boys on the official visit.
Right.
But it was unofficial.
It was just unofficial because you had to provide your own transportation.
Right.
Okay, so you went to A&M. You went to Oklahoma. Where else did you go?
My official visit, I went to A&M. No, A&M was on. I went to Oklahoma. Went to Georgia, Arkansas, Oklahoma State. And what was my 5th visit was Colorado.
Oh, so you went to Colorado?
Oh, yeah.
Did you go with Al and Canavis, or you went separately?
Man, let me tell you about that Colorado trip. You had me, Eric Bieniemy.
Wow.
Rodney Hampton.
Alfred Williams. Not Jerry Parks, but it was a cornerback. Steve Jackson. Okay. Man, that trip, that weekend, it was more from, they had other boys, from everywhere.
Right.
And that trip, when we got ready to leave, everybody but me said, I'm going. Eric Bieniemy committed that trip. Alfred committed. Dave was committed.
Right.
O.C. Oliver.
O.C. was already there.
O.C. was already there. When O.C. Oliver.
Yeah, O.C. was already there.
It was somebody else from Houston, though, from Willery. From that area. I ain't gonna put. It wasn't Jerry. Jerry didn't commit. But just about everybody we talked to after we left.
Okay, so Colorado, Oklahoma State, Nebraska, Oklahoma. Why Oklahoma? Why OU?
Reason why I picked OU, because at the time, they were the number one team in the country.
Okay.
Every time I turn on the TV, they on TV.
Right.
They wanted me.
Barry Switzer wanted you.
Barry Switzer came, sat in my mama's living room.
Barry Switzer.
Barry Switzer. Let me tell you about Barry Switzer. Barry Switzer came to Sterling on a helicopter.
Really?
Barry Switzer.
For you?
For me. People running out of the classroom to go see what's going on. The helicopter there for me.
For people that don't understand, that is a big deal in college football. For a top 10, top tier coach to come to your high school in a helicopter, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and back then, obviously, Barry Switzer came to my house, Jackie Sherrill came to my house, Lou Holtz came to my house, and
these are top colleges in the country.
These are head coaches.
Right.
They sending recruiters.
Right.
Other schools, I think I seen recruiters. But those three head coaches came to send in my living room.
So because Barry Switzer came to your house or came to your school in a helicopter, that was the reason why.
Like I say, that's the number one team. I feel like feeling like I'm the number one safety, and I need to be on the number one team.
Right. Okay.
Little did I know.
Okay.
That's how I felt. That's why I made my decision. If I had to do it over again, I'd have went to Colorado.
Yeah.
Because I didn't. What I know now, Colorado was rebuilding.
Right.
Colorado was the only one that told me that they was gonna give me an opportunity to play as a freshman.
Really?
Right.
Oklahoma didn't tell you that.
Oklahoma didn't tell me that.
So when you went to, when you out of Houston, that year you went to Oklahoma with Jerry Parks out of Willow Ridge.
Right.
Did y'all play as true freshmen or y'all redshirted?
We redshirted.
You redshirted. Okay. Okay. So the only people that went straight into playing from freshmen was Canavas and Al, because they went to Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys. Okay. So you freshman campaign, you redshirted like the rest of us did.
Right.
Okay. The next year, when it was your redshirt freshman year, now what took place? How did you get into the starting lineup?
So spring game. After that redshirt, that spring game, I balled out in the spring game that it was obvious that I'm gonna be the starter by the next season. I had a couple of guys, another guy from Houston, Kevin Thompson. He was there. He was in front of me, but how you do a KT, but I was a superior athlete. I was a better athlete that came through. It was fine.
Good was there too. James Good
James
was there
Good.
out of Yankees. Okay, yeah.
Like defensive end. Unfortunately for me, that spring game, I break my head.
Really? I didn't know that.
I break my head. I have two pins and metal plate in my head.
Really? As of now.
Like right now. That's what happened. That's what happened. Surgery.
Okay.
In the spring game, and not knowing, I just knew my head was hurting. But I'm still, me being the player that I am, I'm still balling. With a broke hand.
Right.
And so after the spring game, we go get the trainer. They give me X-ray and stuff. Realize, because I had surgery, all 15 minutes surgery, 72 stitching. That's how I learned how to get left hand. That's how I learned how to get left hand.
Right. You had to.
I had to.
Yeah.
So leave after the spring, after the surgery and everything, once again, I'm not playing football. Lose focus. Lose focus. Not going to class. Grades start slipping.
Doing the typical thing that somebody not from Oklahoma,
right.
would do.
Right.
Would do, basically, and then,
waking up here every morning, there's 2 feet, 3 feet of snow. And class way down the street.
Like it was in Wyoming. I don't feel like going.
Yeah,
I don't feel like
going. So, like I say, I not being in football mode, made me lose focus of what I was really there for. And having to leave Oklahoma, went to the Burns Junior College.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you was there the whole time.
No.
Okay. So you went to Navarro, which was a junior college at the time.
It was junior college.
How long were you there?
I'm there for a year.
You was there for a year.
For a semester. I'm there for. I had to go there for a semester to get my grades up. Okay. Once I finished at Navarro, once I was supposed to finish at Navarro, it's going back to Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. But I also had some other offers. I had Ole Miss and U of H on the table.
But you went back to Oklahoma anyway.
No,
you never went back to Oklahoma.
Never went back up. So, and the reason why I didn't go back to Oklahoma, because it's around the time Oklahoma got put on probation. Barry Switzer was gone.
Right.
Coach Gibbs was there. It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same with Oklahoma.
Right. A lot of things that happened at Oklahoma to, in the short time I was there, it was like a lifetime. A lot of things happened there.
Well, yeah, we gonna have to have another show for that one, because I know what you're talking about. With the likes of Jamel Holloway and Charles Thompson, they were in the news every other day about something that was going on probationary wise at the University of Oklahoma. But to get to the point, man, what happened? I mean, because you were like one of the top free safeties in the country at that particular time. You came back to Houston trying to, get your life back together. What happened? Why couldn't you get to the next level? What took place?
Well, but one, it was being around the wrong people at the wrong time. I'm headed one way. A lot of people, they doing other things, but I consider them my friends, and so it started in Navarro. Well, I'm in Navarro, leaving on my way out from Navarro. I was coming back to U of H. I was gonna sign with U of H before he was. That's when JP came back.
Right.
Man, come on, guys. So that was my.
Because y'all was gonna come back together then.
Right.
Okay.
JP was already here.
He was already here.
Yeah, I was coming by. That was my move.
Right.
In transition to that, and Navarro, hang around a guy from Dallas that was on the team. I consider him, but I buy a car from him, and come to find out, car stolen.
Car stolen.
Yeah, but he done robbed a woman and took her car in Dallas and brought the car to Corsicana. We drive the car to Houston to get the mechanic to look at it. And while I was here in Houston, me not knowing, they got an APB out on this car for aggravated robbery, auto theft, all that type of stuff. I'm driving the car, me and another friend of mine from Arkansas, Michael James. He's our quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I end up getting a case for that. I fight it. I end up getting the case because they tell me, hey, all you gotta do is get this guy charged to say that you bought this car from him. And we got that. They had already dropped the woman already identified. I'm not the guy that robbed her, so now they ain't him. So
right.
I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm free, right. But I still was in possession of the car. I don't know how I got the car, what's this. So I go to find him to get him to verify that I got the car from him. Find out he did. So I ended up having to get the case. That was the first thing. They dropped the case. I mean, they don't drop the case. They let me out. I get probation for it. I go back to Navarro, finish up, because I still had to finish up before I can come to New York.
Right.
They not on my scholarship because of the trouble.
Right.
So, okay, cool. I leave. Still try to get New York on my own. Just who I am, my own name.
Yo, reconnaissance, right.
And it didn't work out that way. So now I'm back at home, and
now you're in the life now.
Now I'm in the life.
Yeah.
And because up until that point, all I knew for me to be is a football player.
Right.
I don't have football no more. So what am I do? So I I can say friends that I was around, they were doing certain things. I'm these my friends. I see y'all looking good, doing good, so I want to look good and do good too. You caught up.
They was in the gang basically.
In the gang, street, auto, saying things.
Yeah.
Pimping and pandering, whatever the street like.
Right.
So, I just found my niche into that. I wasn't a street dude when I just found my niche, because I knew how to blend in and blend out when I needed to. So end up getting in that circle, and like I say, being around one night, being around some guys that I really didn't know, but I'm with somebody, they were somebody else that I know, and we all together, and a situation pop off, and I end up being the accuser of crime, and that was in the early 90s, so how they was doing those young brothers in the 90s with the railroad and not knowing and law stuff. So I ended up doing a little prison time, and so I took that. It hurt me at first because like I said, all I know is, man, I'm finna build NFL football.
Right.
Buy my mama house and Cadillac and, get my family out,
Right.
And having that happen to me, it kind of, it hurt. But then dealing with it, I had so all that football stuff, I got to erase all that.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Yeah.
I got to start living my life starting from right here. I'm in prison. I'm in jail.
Inmate.
I'm an inmate. So I got to start my life from here, moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot, like I said, a lot of stuff from my football days, I never really talked about, bragged about because I ain't do shit. I ain't do nothing with it. So it didn't matter to me. It didn't matter.
This is what I want people to understand. I mean, we have a lot of sports stories here in Houston. And like I said, I went to school with this guy. We've been knowing each other ever since, like we said, first grade. Miss Manning's class at Garden Villas Elementary. These are the type of stories that people need to hear now because they can keep somebody's child off keep them off the wrong path, later on down their life, because this is a living individual. This is a person, this is a friend of mine that went through this, had this stuff that I didn't even know because we lost contact when he went to Oklahoma and I went to Wyoming, but
that's just iceberg. That's the tip of the iceberg.
That's just tip of the iceberg. Well, I know we're running short on time, but I want to go ahead and give you opportunity now to go ahead and promote what you're doing now with the Little League team that you have now.
Okay, yeah. Well,
so I decided I didn't make it. I'm gonna help somebody else kid make it. I have kids right now that signed D1 to go to University of Washington, U of H, LSU, and multiple other schools right now that I've coached in 18 years I've been coaching. Mm-hmm. I'm currently with the Southeast Raiders now. Mm-hmm. We're in South Park area, mm-hmm. Sims Bayou Park. That's where we practice at. We play our home games at Sterling. Mm-hmm. So I've coached several teams. I've been, learned a lot from a lot of coaches, coming up because I never thought I'd be a coach. Mm-hmm. I started coaching. That's how I started coaching. I was at the park shooting basketball one day at Dow Park, and I seen a team. Me and a friend of mine, we were shooting, and I seen a team over there practicing. So in between the game, I told her, I said, let's go over here and watch these kids practice. And once I get over there, I see there's another high school friend of mine. He's the president and owner of the team, Chauncey Williams, mm-hmm. of the Bayou City Falcons. Mm-hmm. He gave me my first start. That was in 2005, I believe. And I was like, man, I seen a lot. I seen where I can help because it kids were out there, undisciplined. They not really teaching them football. They just out there, So I asked him, man, how can I be part of this? He gave me a paper, fill this out, show up to practice. And I've been a coach ever since.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think, because we know each other. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've been knowing each other, thick and thin for the longest. Do you think the lack of having a father in the household, hindered you a lot?
So, man, that's a whole nother. Well, you're gonna have me out here tonight. So
no, we're not gonna be out here all night. But I'm definitely gonna bring you back, though. I'm gonna bring you back because
these questions that you're asking me are questions that I need to answer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For me and the people. So not having a father, I had a father figure in my household. Like I say, I found out years later he wasn't my father, but
wow,
he gave me the structure that I needed. Mm-hmm. That I see a lot of kids that don't have a father in their house that they don't have, mm-hmm. because he was a military Marine and he was a fireman, so he had a lot of structure and a lot of discipline, mm-hmm. far as how he was. So I learned that, I got that from him. But I see kids these days that don't have a father in their life or a positive father or
positive role model.
Positive role model.
Right.
They might have their daddy, but their daddy ain't really getting them the tools they need to succeed. Mm-hmm. So me having that instilled in me, that's the type of coach I am. I'm gonna put that discipline, that structure in, because I know you can be the best athlete in the world, but if you ain't disciplined, if you uncoachable, ain't nobody gonna mess with you.
Right.
So that's my main focus is when I coach kids is give them the discipline and structure to succeed in whatever they do.
Right.
I have a nonprofit that I've started I've been having trouble getting it going. It's called Champs for Life. And like I tell kids, you can be a champion at whatever you do. You know, as long as you have character, heart, attitude, motivation, pride, and sacrifice. And that's spelled champs, you know, and you have those things. And
Good acronym. Great acronym.
Put that in whatever you do, and you know, you're gonna be a champion at whatever. And if it's not just football, because like I tell me, everybody not gonna be a football player. A lot of y'all ain't gonna make it past little league, you know. But if you had this, you know, what I'm trying to put in you, then you gonna whatever you do, you're gonna have, you know, you're gonna be good at it. You're gonna be great at it. So
serving the time that you were incarcerated,
right.
What are you doing now besides, you know, the coaching? What else are you doing now, you know, to try to, you know?
I own a barbershop. I have my own barber. I've been a barber for 23 years. I've been having my own shop for 4 years now. So and it's the same thing. I use the barbershop as my platform to, you know, reach kids, you know, because once they sit in my chair, you know, and I got my hand on your head,
talking.
You can't help but listen to what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel that, you know, being in that position, you know, I cut my team hair. I get them, you know, that's like extra, you know, stuff that they normally they not gonna see, you know, in the household with they male role model. They're not gonna see the stuff that I'm gonna, you know, show them when they come to the barbershop, or you know, they come, you know, at practice or after practice. I take them to the Texans game. We go to U of H. I got connections at U of H. I take them to go see the campus to inspire them to, you know, to want this. You know what I'm saying? Once they finish high school or whatever they're doing, you know. So,
see, this is one of the things that I also, you know, deal with from time to time. Also, you know, as good as a player that you were back in high school, and then you were like one of the top, you know, safeties to come out of Texas and go to a prestigious university like the University of Oklahoma. Not one recruiter, not one coach tried to reach out to try to help you out or try to, you know, at least give you some legal guidance during your situation?
Man, not one.
Not one?
Not one.
Do you regret going to Oklahoma?
I ain't going to say I regret it, but I wouldn't make that decision again. I wouldn't make that decision. If I had that decision to make again, I wouldn't choose Oklahoma.
Really?
I wouldn't. It being in the same situation, number one, because the first thing was when, and I tell kids that's going to college now, and let their parents be aware too, when you get there, you want to make sure that you want to know what the depth chart look like.
Yeah, of course.
I ain't know that. I get there, they done recruited 4 more safeties.
Right.
Signed 4 more safeties.
And then they got the walk-ons.
Then they got walk-ons.
Yeah.
Then they got guys that they converting from offense, but they bamboozled them too.
Right.
They had guys that were all American quarterbacks and receivers where they come from. Get to Oklahoma, they make them deep cornerbacks and safeties.
Yeah.
And now we got 30 DBs, you know, just in the DB room. You got 25 DBs in there. You came before play.
Only 4 gonna play. Only 4 gonna play.
Right. So it was just I look at that as, you know, big schools now, what they try to do, they try to harbor all the best talent just to keep other schools from getting them.
True.
You know, whether they play or not, even though, you know, you still got to do what you got to do to get on the field. But, and it was more I feel like it was more of a, we going to get all these boys, so, and they won't go to A&M, you know, and, you know, just keep us on the top. I wish they had a transfer portal back then.
They had a transfer portal like they do now.
Right.
All right, we're going to wrap this up, but we got to have Ced Davenport back on the show again.
Yeah,
the Blitz and Cocktails, this is what I'm trying to bring to Houston. I'm trying to bring personal, innovative stories from former athletes here in the Houston area. If you want to see more about the Blitz and Cocktails, you can go to my Facebook page, BelAirWellnessandCairo.com. Also, you can go to Cedric Davenport's page on Facebook and the CMT Broadcasting. I mean, GMT Broadcasting, okay? But I want to thank my guests. Hey, man, thank you for coming, man, telling your story. I'm going to definitely have you back. I'm going to have you back in the new year because I want to continue to talk about, you know, what happened, other transitions that you made, stuff like this. And if anybody can get in touch with Jerry Parks from Willow Ridge, I want him to come on the show because I want to hear about this story that happened to him in Oklahoma also.
Yep.
All right? Hang loose, y'all. Hang loose. Check back soon.
All right.